Greetings, sir and sirettes, and welcome back to Cosmoteer with me, Lathrix, and of course, welcome to our lovely little cowardly craft. In today's episode, we're going to be a little bit more brave, and we are going to try and build ourselves a brawler. Now, originally, I was going to have 2 ships, and we still might end up like that, but for now, I am going to be scrapping the ship and building it anew as the ultimate brawler. Or at least a half-decent brawler with my building skill. It's most likely going to end up in the similar shape we've been building so far, in a bit of a hammerhead shape, with the front being significantly larger than the back, and the back containing a lot of the vitals and the more squishy components, perhaps a couple of missiles, but either way, most of the weaponry being focused on the front. The idea is the front is the ultimate section, which, if that goes down, we've pretty much lost anyway, so the back section doesn't need to be all that well armoured. Most likely we will be focusing on the ion lasers. If we do have enough money afterwards, I will simply repurchase our cowardly craft, and that way we have a tank and a DPS. So, let's go ahead, we're going to jump first of all to a vanguard area, and then we're going to start the rebuilding process. Now the thing is, there has been a rather large update, well, a rather helpful update I should say, nothing too major, which has meant that now our FTL jumps are very, very cheap in comparison to how they used to be. The FTL is now significantly more efficient, and I am very, very happy with this change. So, let's start our little teleport. And as soon as we're all charged up, we can go there and we can start our rebuilding. Let's see if I'm good enough to make a half-decent brawler. I'm really hoping I am. Maybe I am. We can hope. Now, how much am I actually going to get for selling this? That's not too bad. Okay then, so we have a grand total of 2,266,000. Now, of course, the problem with doing this is we do lose a lot of our FTL fuel, but hopefully we will get enough back from this fight to simply go to the next area. So the reason why we actually lost the FTL fuel is because we deleted our FTL drives, which are actually holding the fuel. Yeah, it's not really the best idea. Either way, though, let's just mirror mode, let's just go into build mode first, and delete all of this, goodbye everything. Pause time as well to make things a little bit easier on ourselves. And let's go into blueprint mode. Okay, so I want the ion beams. I want that to be the main source of damage. So what I kind of want is something like that. Just this first front section to just be this massive laser section which will gut the enemy. So far, the ion beams are definitely the weapons I am the most afraid of, so it makes sense that we start using them more. Now, the problem with the ion beams, as you can see, is because of their size, they're not the easiest to shield unless we have the shields next to them. So, what I may do is something like that. Of course, then we can't get to the downside here, but we still have crew access through the front, like so. Ah, I thought there was a door there, but there apparently isn't, so that isn't viable at all, so you can go away. Now that's a shame. I definitely want at least one layer of shields on this front section here. So perhaps we have to go down at least one shield so that we can at least do this. Yeah, maybe that would be the best option there. And then that would also allow a little bit of armor here to protect our shield, which is rather nice. And then we can start going towards our more normal weapons, the large cannons and the small lasers and such. If we go for a laser-based section, we are going to be very good at picking off the enemy's weapons. The cannon, on the other hand, is going to do absolute catastrophic damage, dealing damage to the internals and just breaking apart the enemy, which, of course, may be the more efficient option. Either way, I'm going to mess around with that for a second until I've got a front section I'm at least somewhat happy with. What if we did it the opposite way around? So rather than going down like this, have it more of a reverse crescent. That would make sense, actually, and would be a lot easier to protect. Then have One here, and then one more set of shields. Still not quite as shielded as I would like, but that would be a good base. Very easy to access and a lot of damage. Yeah, that's not the best. Too much of that shield is being wasted, but either way, that's not the worst idea in the world. Now here's another thought. How much are we going to focus on this little laser bed? Because we could do something similar to the Cerberus, one of the enemies we've fought in the past, and perhaps have shields down the side here like so, to protect the core section here. And that would be a lot of protection for these. It also means that a shot to the lasers will only really affect it if it goes all the way down this main section here, and in fact, we could even armor up like this, because, of course, that's just a shield. That doesn't need to be actually seeing the outside world. That's definitely a thought. Of course, then the question is, what do we do on the outside? And we could go down the route, maybe, of lasers on the outside just in case, some point defense, and then missiles in the back section. Not too sure though, because only 4 of these, although they are remarkably powerful, we probably need more as our primary source of damage, so we may have to also come out to the outside, so maybe this would be more of a core section, and then this extend outwards. I'm really torn on what I really want to do at the moment, that's the thing. I don't want to end up with a ship which is so similar to our Skull ship, is the main issue there. Also, would it be better to make this out of the 2x1s? It doesn't seem like... Yeah, it seems like once you place them, that simply becomes 2 1x1s anyway. Okay. Well, actually, no, it doesn't, because that just deleted both of these, so maybe it is better to do the 2x1s. I really don't know. So, of course, the main issue with building like this is that the weapons on the side down here won't have much of an arc of fire. They're only going to be able to fire at things in this sort of angle. Now, that is okay if we stay far enough away from the enemy, but it does mean that a lot of the time, any cannons or regular lasers we build down here simply aren't going to be able to fire past there. So I'm unsure if this really is the best idea. We will be relying a lot on these lasers, which are powerful. They are very powerful, but I am starting to have second thoughts about this entire design. Well, what if we do something like this, but a little bit further stretched out? So the idea is, the center is where all the bristling weapons are and the shields, then the outside is mostly just made out of heavy armor, and then perhaps some of the crew quarters and stuff like that, with all of the thrusters along the bottom edge of this curve. That way the thrusters will act as a natural turning thrust. Maybe that will work out. I just want to build something a little bit different. Well, the end shape is very slowly coming together, at least. Very slowly. So currently, obviously, anything outside the very center is still very, very rough, but I'm liking the overall design, and then these two are going to come forward a lot further. It's now actually making me think a lot more of the Phoenix from StarCraft 2. Not exactly as pretty as one, but the general idea anyway. Okay, so this is version 1. I'm not entirely happy with this. Honestly, I don't think I'm ever really happy with my designs, but I don't want to spend too much time on it. I think the major issues here are a lot of travel time to a lot of the thrusters, and not enough sheer firepower. I think in the long run this will lose fights against things like the Cerberus, which have both firepower and defense, because it will just run out of firepower in the long run. Either way though, I am happy how it looks, and I think it's going to do okay. I don't think it's going to be able to kill all Vanguard enemies, but maybe at least a couple. And I'm hoping it's going to have enough power. Either way then, let's just get out of build mode, and let's find our first enemy. Okay, here it comes. It is the Archangel. Okay, so let's have a quick look-see at you. Well, you have lasers like I do, but less shielding, less protection for them, so hopefully we can just take those out. Incoming our missiles, let's just slow down time, there we go. Those lasers need to be taken out, as they will go directly towards our lasers once we're both facing each other. So hopefully, yep, there we go, one of them is down. And down goes the rest, thanks to our cannon fire. A really good start, actually. Oh, come on, take out that little generator, you're right next to it. Darn it. Just burning everything from the outside with those lasers, exactly like I wanted. The armor on the side catching a lot of the enemy damage since it doesn't seem to be focusing on a specific point, which is great for me. None of my shields are down either, just yet. Okay, now the lasers are struggling for energy. That was... well, I was hoping that wouldn't happen, but as you can see, to get to the center lasers, you do have to go through the other lasers. It's definitely a bad point there. I'm actually considering just moving these two lasers forwards. I wanted them there because I thought that looked better, but having a corridor here would really, really help out. Still doing well so far, though. A little bit of damage now being taken on our right, but currently left on the screen. There we go, one reactor core is now taken down. And we are cutting straight through the enemy. Here's a problem. Not being able to direct my damage very well, although I haven't even been trying, so that is also, of course, a big problem. Yeah, we just don't have the damage. We need to redo the sides, I think. A good first attempt for my last half an hour of just messing around, but no. Come on, half it. You can do it. Yes. Split it. There we go. The lasers uptime is actually a little bit better than I was expecting, so happy enough with that. Once again, the lasers carving through here, and there we go. We got 400,000, only 101,000 in repairs. And actually, looking at it, we've mostly just lost armor. So, yeah, not bad. Not terrible. Not the best. So, problems then. The missiles weren't constantly loaded. I expected that. That was just a given. That was just mostly for the first volley. That's really the only reason they're there. So maybe changing the missiles for a huge array of small lasers. That would be really cool, honestly. Plus, it means what our main lasers can't do is pick at a specific part of the enemy without maneuvering the ship, which isn't going to happen too much with such a heavy ship. But, well, such a high mass ship, you know, we're in space and stuff, but adding loads of little lasers would counter that because these could easily pick off weapons. The same would go if we were using the electro bolts. The problem is we would need way more reactors, but of course that would just mean sacrificing these things here. Well, that is a thought. It did better than I was expecting, but it still could massively be improved. But hey, we killed a Vanguard enemy with a proper normal ship, and we got some money out of it, so it can't be too bad. I am still really happy with how this looks, at least, so that is one thing. The sword, okay. Okay, you have a lot of cannons on one side, so really we should be aiming at taking that section away from you. Well, I guess we'll just see how this goes. Okay, you're instantly turning, so please focus on that. The laser should hopefully score the outside pretty well. Okay, our cannons, please focus on there instead. I've replaced all of the missiles with cannons for now, just to see how that goes. Our lasers are not firing because we are out of range, because I am a dum-dum. There we go. There was me thinking like the old ship with, of course, the missiles. Okay, we've lost a bit on the left, but they've definitely lost more. Yeah, the cannons are so much better. Plus, I've actually placed the factories quite well this time, so our uptime with the cannons is really good. We should win this. Yeah, their reactors being there and the lasers not being shielded, our lasers will just win. Why do we always lose the left side? That's my question. Shields are back up pretty much everywhere. That section there is weakened. Okay, so I think stacked shields would be amazing, but we don't have space for it right now. Having stacked shields like we have in the center would be just so good. But we're still not having any real trouble, so I'm happy enough with that. Also, those lasers are so darn fun, and now I've got the corridor there. Look at the difference in uptime. You're never going to have 100% uptime ever, but we are darn close to it. There we go, and that's pretty much that. Just need to finish off the rest. Okay, move back for me. I do look a lot like the Necrons now as well from Warhammer 40k, which I'm completely fine with, of course. So which one of these enemies actually counts as an enemy still? Is it both of them? We're very good at splitting up the target, at least. And the last one which actually counts... Okay, so we got 265, and we only had 53,000 in repairs. So once again, we did gain, which is fine by us. So, still, problems. We don't have enough protection on the sides. Here and here. I'm actually tempted to change this so we have it like this, almost like two of the middle sections, here and here. I think that would be rather cool, but again, space. Oh, I do need to get better at spacing things out. I'm not good with shapes, can you tell? I could do this. Well, not there, but I could actually put one shield here, one shield there, and then connect them via this, but then that's so far away from any of our reactors, it would be so annoying for our people. So, blueprint mode, please. Thank you. So, corridor up here, corridor up here. Shield, shield. That would also limit the fire arc again. But that would add 2 additional shields, which isn't exactly bad. I don't think that's worth it. Limiting arc of fire and more difficult for our people to actually deal with. And already that's the problem. I think it's because I'm so scared of putting reactors too close to the front. But honestly, if they get through the front line, what's there to lose? Except for just corridors. It's the same here. It's the reason why I actually do have these 3 reactors here. Because once the lasers are gone, what do we have to lose here? And then we just have heavy armor on the sides and the back to protect other things which are actually vulnerable. Maybe that would be worth it. You know what? Make it so. That looks bloody weird, but that is a lot more shielding. Okay, let's do some painting for a second. I want to know something. Can I paint with the decals the top section here? Let's go dark red. Will this come through? Okay, good. So essentially, I want to paint where my armor already is. I'm going to go red and black. Red for where the armor is currently, black for everything else. Or actually, maybe the opposite would be better. A very dark colour for where the armor is. Maybe. Can I swap easily between seeing the outside and seeing the inside whilst doing this? Doesn't look like I can, which is... Aha, I can by doing that. Okay, that's good enough. That is good enough for me. Oh, and plus, I've just realised the armor has this lovely kind of honeycomb pattern, so I can just go ahead and figure out where that is. That would be easier, because Lathrix isn't a derp to herp. I actually quite like it as it is right now with the white and grey, then the very dark red, almost brown highlights. So I might leave it as it is for now. Okay, so let's jump on over to another Vanguard area and let's see how we do there. We do need to increase our FDL efficiency as well. That's another thing I do need to do. Here we are in a brand new world. Let's see how we do then. If we can clear this Vanguard area as well and still turn a profit, I will consider this a success. Okay, we are against the Hammerhead. Okay, well clearly, please destroy that, because that's going to blow up this entire section, although it is quite well armoured. You have a sensor array, which we still need to add as well. Well, maybe, maybe not. And you have missiles on the side. Honestly, that's kind of the original idea for this. Yeah, it didn't quite happen, did it? Okay, cannon fire being exchanged both ways. A lot of the armor just took up the brunt of that. Come on, focus on the center cannons. Please do what I told you to do. The missiles mostly hit the armor, which is great, although we have taken some significant damage there on the right. Hello. Just keep on going for the core, just core this thing out. The missiles are doing almost nothing because they keep on hitting the armor section, which is great for me. The laser, on the other hand, on my side, is doing magnificently. You know what? Actually, focus on the weapons. Just take them out. I would like to help out the coring process, but the lasers are doing that just fine, so just knock out those cannons. Beautiful. Yeah, that heavily armoured laser in the centre is doing so much work this time round. And the laser definitely starts fires. Or at least it certainly looks like it. How are we doing? Yeah, we have taken minimal damage, honestly. We've lost one cannon and one shield generator. At least from the initial look. I may have lost more, but that's what I instantly noticed. The cannons are still focusing on these little cannons, which is great for me. Laser again, just stripping everything from the outside. Try and take out this energy source as well. Once that's down, the enemy's firing days are pretty much over. You need energy to power the ammo factories and pretty much everything else. And there it goes. We get 298, only costs us 33,000, so once again, we have turned a profit. Let's add an extra FDL drive, just to hold a little bit more of our FDL fuel. Where are you? You're in this section, okay. So where would be the best for this? Looks like the bottom has almost no coverage, so yep, that's fine by me. There we go, massively increasing our efficiency and increasing our storage. The Ragnarok. Okay, let's see how this goes then. This time in a much more fair fight. Okay, so where on earth do I focus with this? Need to take out that array of lasers. I think that's the main bit. Oh, definitely. Yeah, I definitely am targeting the correct area there. Thankfully, our laser is going against... Oh, its laser. Whereas it isn't focusing on our laser. Okay, most of its lasers are already down, which is great news for us. We've lost some health in the center, but not too much. And the Ragnarok has split into two. That's the third time I've done that so far in this series. Called the Ragnarok the Ragnaros. Hurrah for Warcraft and all that good stuff, I suppose. Come on, take out that. If you take out this reactor here, this whole section goes bye-bye. Thank you, cannon shots. Lots of fires currently going on in the Ragnarok. Where now then? Let's have a quick look-see at ourselves. We have taken far less damage than I originally thought. This thing is doing so much better than I expected. Yeah, you can stay there. You can just keep on hitting the armor all day. That's fine. I vastly underestimated the power of just regular armor. The amount of damage it can absorb is actually a little bit ridiculous. Okay, there, this core. Ignoring its doom laser. Actually, no, let's not ignore its doom laser. Actually, let's focus on those power cores behind it, shall we? By power cores, I mean reactors, because I can never say that correctly either. Oh, almost. There we go. Massive internal explosion there. Oh, bad. Okay, let's reposition ourselves. We're in quite a bad place now. Just to make sure that the enemy are not hitting our behind. Okay, you're gone. And you're the last enemy then. No, not that, but thank you for shooting something, I suppose. Okay, we get 497, and again, only 30,000. Only the armor has really been destroyed. Oh, you are doing so much better than I originally thought, and definitely the cannons are a much better alternative to the missiles. We could always add some missiles to the side, but I don't really want to increase the cost anymore, that's the thing. I want to stay in certain boundaries, otherwise I would simply increase it massively. Also, I've just realised we could easily add a second one of these now to our fleet, but I do kind of like the one-on-ones. As soon as we have two, I don't think we're ever going to lose, although I do want to fight the Cerberus again. The Cerberus, I still think will beat us. That's it, really. Well, I'm afraid I am all out of time for today's episode. If you have enjoyed, then of course, likes, favourites, shares, comments, all that good stuff helps out me, helps out the channel, and most importantly, shows that Cosmoteer is a series you wish to see continued in the future. Next time, I think we're going to just keep this craft. We are going to keep on going against the Vanguard areas until we eventually get destroyed, most likely by the Cerberus, or the Crescent, I believe it's called. There is a much larger vessel out there that everyone keeps on telling me to be worried about, and I'm very, very looking forward to seeing it, and it absolutely crushing us. So, thank you for watching, and goodbye.